What's goody, YouTube? You might be wondering, why are the lights off? Well, today we'll be reacting to Erased, the anime. I probably heard of it. Y'all probably seen it before. If you like anime, you definitely heard of it. It's seen as a tragic thriller mystery type beat. So if y'all really messing with that type of stuff, stay around. This YouTuber named Sensei actually does these commentaries, and he does a really good job. So I definitely trust him with this. First time reacting, listening, seeing anything of Erased. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Tragic is the only word I can use to describe this anime. There's a ton of different dynamics going on, and it may take a little while to pick up, but I can't lie to you, this show is easily one of my favorites. Our story starts in 2006. We meet our main character, Satoru Fujinuma. We see a bunch of ripped up pages flying in the air, and it turns out they're ripped pages of his manga. We get a flashback to his meeting with the editor beforehand, as he tells him that his manga isn't a great fit for the company. He says his work's just a little bit too restrained and fails to show who he actually is through his work. Satoru knows this is one of his biggest flaws, his fear of digging down deep into his own mind. The publisher lets him know that he's not a good fit for the company, and bro just heads home. As he lays in,
but why is the publisher even... I guess it's constructive criticism, but man, you gonna get there one day, bro. You gonna be an anime manga writer. Trust.
in bed at home thinking about what just happened, he thinks that maybe if he had done things differently in the past, his life would be different now. Later that day, we see him at work. He's a delivery man for this pizza shop. As he's about to leave out for a delivery, his coworker, who is his high school girl, is like, "Hey, big bro, don't eat all the pizza on your way there. You don't want to eat the customer supply." He's like, "Obviously, why the fuck would I do that?" He says this all the time. He don't know if it's some sort of new school joke, whatever's going on. He's confused, but he's like, it's whatever. As he's thinking about it on his delivery, we get a little bit of info that she's like 16 or some years old. He's 29. So obviously it's...
Yo, what? What? Yo. He said high school girl? She called him big bro. I hope that's your sister. No. Please say that's your sister.
There's no type of weird stuff going on there. In fact, that's the only thing she ever says to him. She just says that same joke over and over. That shit is kind of weird. I can't lie. I'd be weirded out too. He's driving along.
Wait, so he didn't specify if that was his girl? Or I mean, it can't be. It can't be. It can't be. I hope not.
On his route as he sees this blue butterfly. Suddenly, a truck passes by, then
oh snap.
All of a sudden, he's on the same route again. He's like, shit, it happened again. And he starts looking around. He's like, something's gotta be wrong. He sees a mom tending to her baby, some kids playing on the sidewalk, cars passing by. And when that truck passes by again, he notices the driver's hands are loose on the steering wheel. So he slams on the brakes, gets a clean U-turn, and starts chasing down this truck. He's honking his horn trying to get the truck driver's attention like, pull over, pull over. But there's no response. He's asleep. As he's chasing the truck,
there's no way he's that sleep. Honking. Oh nah, this is bad. I already know something bad's about to happen.
Coworker sees him and is like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? But she just lets it be. As the chase continues, we see this little boy getting ready to cross the road.
No.
He's like, damn, I hate getting involved in shit like this. But he thinks of a time of his childhood hero back in his day. Back to real time, the truck slams through these traffic cones, and the boy notices that the truck is coming right towards him, getting paralyzed in fear. Satoru is almost there, and he's trying his best to reach inside, and finally is able to pull on the guy's shirt, which ultimately moves his arm, moving the truck out the way and saving the little kid. He's happy he saved the kid, but now he's on a straight path towards oncoming traffic, and the rest is history. We go on to see what looks like some random light tower and these random houses in the wintertime, but when he sees an image of him as a kid alongside his mom, he realizes it's his life flashing before his eyes.
That's the first episode.
The memory of him playing soccer with his friends, as he comes to the conclusion that nothing ever good comes from trying to get involved with other people.
Dang. That's a depressing thought. But he died on the first episode? No, this anime is tragic, Sensei.
We see a young Satoru walking home, but he looks to the side and sees this girl in a red jacket. He's like, huh? who is that? I don't know who this is. She looks over towards him and says, his eyes are open. As his vision gets blurry, we see he's lying in a hospital bed. As he's trying to realize what happened, this girl's like, big bro, it's been 2 days. He looks over to the side and realizes it's his coworker. She go through some basic stuff like, do you remember who you are and why you're here? He's like, yup, Satoru Fujinuma, 29 years old, and I got into a car accident. She's like, oh, so the doctors was right. They said that even though the crash was bad, you barely suffered any injuries. It's a miracle. She asked him if there's anybody he wants her to get in touch with, like a friend, girlfriend, anybody, but he's like, nah, I don't really want to bother nobody. She makes this cutting gesture with her hands, and he's like, what is that? Another one of these little jokes you be telling? And she says, it's like you're covered in a thin membrane, like you have a real problem trying to open up with others. I've never even seen you smile, which is why I was so impressed when I seen you was chasing after the truck in order to save that kid. She ended up telling the manager about everything that happened since she's seen it firsthand, and pretty much he don't gotta worry about the bike or the car or whatever. The manager just wants him to get better and go back to work when he can. He give her a quick manager and tells her he's got a question for her. He wants to know why she works. What does she do it for? What's her motivations, her passions? She's like, nobody ever asked me that before. She's like, the reason I work is because I have a dream. As soon as she says that, he starts thinking of his own dream, his manga career. He's like, you don't ever feel embarrassed talking about it or saying what your dream is? She's like, no, I wouldn't be embarrassed to talk about it. I feel like the more you say it, the more chance it has of becoming reality. And as he listens to what she's saying, for some reason, he feels real nostalgic about those words. As she gets ready to go, she lets him know that she'll tell the nurse that he's awake, and she heads on out.
Man, she gotta have a crush on dude. Like, she gotta have a crush on dude, man. But she a real one for even coming to visit. Cause what coworker at a pizza shop is gonna come and visit you at the hospital? Like, it's tragic that you almost died, but niggas gotta get to their bread. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know you too well, big bro. Sorry, big bro. But man, nah, like I was saying, she gotta like big bro, big dude. I don't know what I just said, but she gotta have a crush on him or something, which is fine. Yeah, that's the only thing that can slide though, right? Yeah.
As we see him on the ride back home, he starts talking about the little time flash that just happened. He calls it revival. Every time it happens, it only causes him trouble, but every time, he still gets involved. He goes back in time about 1 to 5 minutes and watch the same scene play over and over. Each time, it's right before something bad happens. He said it almost feels like somebody's forcing him to prevent it from happening.
It's kind of like a superpower.
Whenever one of these revivals do occur, he has to look around and scope out the scene and try and figure out what's wrong. And as a result, he's prevented a bunch of different accidents from happening, but most of the time, it's really just a negative turned into a neutral. So nothing really good happens from it, but he stops the bad from happening. And even in some times like this, a neutral moment for him will turn into a negative. As he finally makes it home and walks to his door.
This dude's life sucks. Oh my goodness. He gotta endure car crashes just because he had an ability that he's not able to control having. Dang. I'm glad the kid's safe though.
He notices through the window that somebody's inside. We see that when he opens it, it's his mom. She's like, oh, welcome back. He's like, Mom, what are you doing here? Turns out she went to go check on him in the hospital, but obviously he was unconscious, so she just ended up coming here instead. She checks up on him, asking if he feel okay. He's like, yeah, I'm fine, it's whatever. She's like, I was so shocked to hear it was a head-on collision. I damn near had a heart attack. And also, if you don't mind, I'm gonna be staying here a little while. That's when he jump out like, what? What do you mean you gonna stay here for a while?
Like, he got shorty. Not the same shorty. Don't get it twisted, but he got some fine shit coming later. He got some fine shit.
Why? What you mean, why? My only son hit his head. I might have to stay for a little while. He's like, I told you, I'm fine, I promise. Plus, I only got one bed. But she's like, it's all good. It's a sleeping bag in the closet. I'll go ahead and use that. He's like, all right, at least let me get you back for the hospital bills. But she's like, keep it. We could say that's my rent I'm paying. He just look at her while she's smoking her little cig. And he's like, damn, even though I'm her own son, I can't even believe she's 52. She don't look like she aged at all.
Dang.
All of a sudden, she asked him if she could take a direct.
She 52? She look young as heck. Oh, that's
train over to
crazy.
Wayno from where they at now. And he's like, so you just coming here to sightsee. But she's like, bruh, I travel all this way to get over here. Might as well have some fun. Why not? Later that night, we see she's on her like 5th can of beer. She's like, oh, my bad. I ended up taking the TV in the bed anyways. And he's like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. Not like I really expected you to use the sleeping bag anyways. So he's walking over to the closet to grab it when he notices something on the TV. The newscaster is talking about a 1st grader who was reported missing, but was actually found this morning. That's when his mom is like, Satoru, do you
The
remember?
same
And he's like, remember
kid
what?
though.
She's like, the incidents back when you was in 5th grade. I wouldn't be surprised
shit.
if your whole memory of it is pretty hazy. We was desperate back then. We tried to erase as much of that from your memory as possible. But the truth was, your life was in danger. We see Satoru in his room trying his best to remember what happened. He's like, kidnappings back in the 5th grade? He's remembering police lights, kids playing, somebody getting arrested. Then he remembers 2 of his classmates had died. We get a flashback to him as a kid and this guy who everybody knew in the neighborhood named Yuki. He was about 20 years old, but he was pretty awkward, so he would always ended up hanging out with the younger kids. Turns out his name wasn't even really Yuki, but they just called him that because courage is all that he would talk about. We get to see a little conversation between him and Yuki as Yuki tells Satoru not to be embarrassed to be himself, and it's always a good thing to have more courage. 6 months later, Yuki was arrested on the case of serial kidnapping and murder.
Kind of curveball. He hangs out with the kids, playing with them, throwing airplanes with them, serial kidnapping and murder. I gotta see what else they're talking about.
Satoru was out grocery shopping with his mom.
That's it? Wait. What happened to the 2 kids that died? How is he just gonna say the 2 kids died and then the guy got arrested for serial killing and murder? I want to know how they died or like what impact this has on the story.
It's like, you don't think you got a little bit too much? This is a lot. She's like, what? Is it too heavy for you? Even if it is a lot, people could live on curry for days. It's a pretty normal day. We see a kid crying because he dropped his ice cream on the floor. The mom's like, don't worry about it. I'll buy you another one. We see a girl losing all her balloons into the sky. But among the balloons, Satoru notices that blue butterfly. His mom's like, what's wrong? What's good with you? And he's like, nah, it's nothing. She's like, what? Is it too heavy for you? Well, even if it is a lot, people could live on curry for days. This one Satoru realizes it's another revival. So he starts looking around trying to figure out what's wrong. There's the same kid crying on the floor, the girl who lost her balloons. He's looking around, but he can't see anything. He asks his mom to go ahead and take a look around for him and see if she notices.
It's the mom. I'm calling it right now. It's the mom.
Anything that's wrong. As she starts looking around too, she's like, now that I think about it, I remember you saying something like this a real long time ago. All of a sudden, she looks to the side and sees a man holding hands with a little girl. She's like, was this nigga just looking at me? As the man walks to the car with the little girl, she's locked in on bro. She's not
I knew it was the freaking guy. I knew it.
letting him out of his sight. He drives off and the girl was just left there sitting with the ice cream cone. As he drives around to leave the parking lot, she takes a picture of the license plate as Satoru's confused since nothing happened, but the time didn't restart again. All of a sudden, his coworker pulls up out of nowhere saying what's up and ends up walking with them on their way home. As they're walking home, his mom invites her to have dinner with them. As we finally get a formal introduction for her, her name is Katagiri Irie. Irie, of course, accepts, saying that she'll help her make it too, and Satoru's just sitting there like, bro, what? Why is she pulling up? Irie runs up to talk to his mom a little bit more, but as
he annoyed by this girl.
we see they're being watched by the same dude that was in the parking lot. Back at his house, his mom finishes serving the plates and they all eat. As Irie takes her first bite, she's like, wow, this is actually really good. And the mom is like, oh, I appreciate you. I thought you was a little young to be Satoru's girlfriend, but shit, I guess I was wrong. She's like, nah, don't do all that, bro. He's more like a friend that I can respect. His mom's trying to push this little agenda. We know Satoru.
Now we got their relationship set. It's cleared out and set straight. Because in the beginning, he said his girl from school, and that just twisted my mind. Especially he said 29 and 16 right after that. Yeah, nah. Wasn't gonna let that slide, but okay. Respect. So just a front. We got that. Okay, good.
Not going for it. Irie's not going for it, but she's pushing this along regardless. You know how moms get. Later on after the meal, she says thanks and gets ready to go home. So he goes ahead, takes her to the station. No problems there. When he gets back, his mom is smoking a cigarette and welcomes him home. He instantly start off like, you gotta cut it out with the whole girlfriend shit. That's just my coworker. Don't act like it's about to be your daughter-in-law. She's like, hey, all I'm saying, you got a good chance with her. She says she respects you. That's all you need. Once again, Sadaru's not going for that. As he's about to walk into the other room, she brings up what happened earlier this afternoon in the parking lot. And he's like, oh, what about it? She's like, we actually prevented a kidnapping attempt. He's like, a kidnapping attempt? Really? Why you say that? But she's like, nah, I'm just playing. Obviously. We know she's not playing. And to be honest, I don't know why she would bring it up and not want to talk about it. But that's all they end up saying. The next day, we see Sadaru at a bookstore reading the records on Yuki. As he's flipping through it, he sees the name of one of the victims named Kayo. And finally, he remembers it was one of his classmates, that same girl in the red jacket from his flashbacks before. He would always see her at the park alone, but they weren't really friends, so they didn't talk much. He remembers that that time walking past her while she's standing by the tree was the last time he ever saw her. We see the kid version of him at the police station with his mom talking to some investigator, and he's freaking out, saying that if he would have asked her to walk home with him, then she would still be alive. She wouldn't have been killed. He's stressing about it, and his mom don't know what to do. As we go back to real time, where he realizes that that's the part that he wanted to forget the most. The fact that he could have potentially saved her life. The next thing we see is his mom walking to the grocery store, still thinking about what happened in the parking lot. She could tell by the license plate that it was a rental car, so it was definitely an attempted kidnapping. She wonders if the reason he gave up on it is because he saw her. Also, when he did look back, he hid his face, so surely he knew who she was. She's like, I'm sure I know a man with those eyes. He plays a bigger part for sure. She's trying her hardest to figure out where and when she's met him. When all of a
that guy right there. My bad. But yo, that guy right there is gonna be the villain of this whole story. I'm calling it now. He's a part of association that erases these type of people. Calling it right now. Calling the plot.
All of a sudden, she remembers. She's looking back through old newspapers, realizing that Yuki might have not actually been the culprit. Inside of a pocket notebook, she pulls out a scrap piece of paper with a phone number on it. As she calls, she's like, hello? I know it's been a while. It's Sachiko. As she's walking back to the house, she realizes that too much time has passed since the original crime to start up a legal case about it now, but she's confident that he's committed other crimes since then. She walks inside and puts her keys down and takes her jacket off, realizing that she's got to tell Sadaru the case isn't closed yet. As she finishes putting her coat up, she hears the door open and she's like, oh, you're home. As she lays there with the knife in her back, she looks up to see who it was. We see a man in a suit wearing gloves. She looks at him and says, I knew it. She starts to reach for her phone in order to tell Sadaru not to come home, but mainly she wants to apologize. We get a flashback of them in the police station, and Sadaru was just in tears. He's saying that no way it was Yuki. It couldn't have been him.
She was a MILF. She was 52 and young. No.
There's no chance. And his mom is realizing that she should have believed him. Even if the police didn't believe him, even if the other parents didn't believe him, she of all people should have been the one to believe him. As she gets close to the phone, the man with the gloves takes it away. Memories of her and Sadaru flash through her head as she realizes she's never going to have a chance to see him again. All of a sudden, we get Sadaru's view of him at work. He's saying goodnight to his coworkers as he's about to head out, and Irie hits him with this little joke as always, but he just shrugs it off like, yeah, whatever. She tells him to ask her for some more curry since it was so good last time. She want another plate. He's like, yeah, I got you. I'll let her know when I get home. As he makes it home and finally starts going up the stairs, he walks by the man who tips his hat as he walks by. We barely get a view of him and these red eyes. He turns the corner to see the door left wide open, but as he looks back down the stairs, the man who just passed him had vanished. As he walks in and closes the door behind him, he's yelling out to his mom like, what's up with you? This ain't your house. If you want to come in here, barge in and stay the night on your own free will, at least lock the door. As he sees her on the ground, his bag drops to the floor. He's like, no way. You playing, right? There's no way. He goes to turn her body around and sees the knife in her gut. At the same time that he fell back, his neighbor walks to the door in order to return some curry that his mom had given her last night, but she sees Sadaru's hand filled with blood. Framed. She's obviously freaking out. He's running after her to try and explain what's going on, but she ran and called the police immediately. They're already outside his door as she's telling him her point of view of what went down, and the police start marching up the stairs. Lights is blaring. Police pull up talking about, "Are you Satoru Fujinuma? We need to take you to the station and ask some questions." Satoru's like, "This can't be happening right now. What the hell is going on?" He's like, "You're wrong. I didn't do it." Out of a panic, he turns away from the police and starts running. He's like, "There's no way." He thinks of the man that he walked by, knowing that it must have been him, but he's got to find him and find a way to prove it. As he's running and the police are chasing after him, he's suddenly in a brand new place. He's like, "Is this another revival? But where am I? It seems familiar, like I've seen it before, but I'm not sure." Suddenly, somebody runs past him like, "Hey, Satoru, come on, hurry up, we gonna be late." So as he starts running too, he's like, "I feel like I remember him from somewhere. Who is this? Why does he have a backpack on?" As he turns the corner, he sees this huge building, which pans out to be his elementary school, all the way back in the year 1988. Y'all know what time it is, man.
Yo, I'm jaw dropped right now. My jaw is dropped. Like, yo, please, y'all, please show support. Please show support. I'm trying to watch the second episode, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see how it ends. How does he wait, why is he in elementary school right now? Man, if y'all want me to react to another episode, go ahead and hit that like button. If y'all like these types of anime reactions, story reactions, movies, anything like that, then I'll do more of them. Just show support, hit that sub button. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers. But man, that was deep. I'm actually so intrigued on what happened next. And if y'all want to find out, go ahead, that sub, let me know in the comments. And I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace.